Hey guys, Ash here from Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video. Glad to have you all here with me talking some raid today. Another day, another Raid Shadow Legends video, and it's going to be a good one today, guys. Send us some love, some positive vibes your way, especially if you need it out there. We have good old Karnage the Anarch. Now, Karnage is one of the two mythical champions that are actually, somewhat obtainable out there in the game. Obviously, there's Lady Mikage, who's just insane, and Karnage, he's very confusing, to be honest with you guys. I think he's one of the most misunderstood champions out there in the game. He's certainly one of the very most complex and unique champions in the game. He does one thing that no other champion does, and he does one thing that only two other champions do in the game. He's very weird, but he's also very good, and that's why I wanted to make today's video. This is the first video that I've ever done on Karnage here on the channel, and I'm excited to share him with you all. Do you have Karnage, or are you watching in preparation? You get him, of course, from Curse City by farming Amos. So yeah, it might take you a while, but eventually you can get your hands on this beast of a champion. So he's Spirit Affinity, which isn't super ideal, to be honest with you guys, but it is nice to have a Spirit Affinity champion like this. I was gonna call him a nuker, but he's far, far, far more than just a nuker. He's really a disruptor, a control champion, he wreaks havoc wherever he goes. And today I'll tell you how to take advantage of his kit and why he is so special. So his base form, he looks awesome. I mean, the game designers, they never disappoint in this game. I love the sword, I love the wings, right? And you go to his alternate form, he just looks more, well, demon spawny, more hellish, more fire and brimstone. And look at those wings. His wings grew. His wings grew on his alt form. So you know me, I'm a wing guy. What do you want? What do you want from me? But yeah, the aesthetics are amazing on this champion. He's an attack-based champion, and well, his claim to fame is, especially at his launch, he blew everybody's mind because his base attack on his alt form is a whopping, best in the game, 1960. 1960 base attack. That is by far and away, by miles, the highest attack inside the entire game. So yeah, he's got that. We'll take a look at the multipliers in a moment as well, but his alternate form is all about damage, a little bit more, but mainly damage. His base form is all about just control, disrupt, and again, just mess with your enemies, stop them from doing what they want to do, specifically in the arena, in wave content, although he can dish out some nice damage in areas like Hydra as well on his alternate form. Let's start with his base form. The base stats, they don't jump out the page at you, but I will say he has the speed aura, one of the best in the game, like Lord Shazar better, right? Odin has it for Void only, but a 33% speed in arena battles. He's going to be a speed lead for a lot of teams. That doesn't mean that he needs to be fast, but obviously he can set up your turn meter boosters, and we would like him, you know, semi-fast, right? Especially in the end game. Anyway, I digress. On his A1 ability, it is Suffer Slash. Attack every one of his abilities, by the way, we're going to spend a little bit of time on, because there's always more than meets the eye, and he's doing so much. That's why I say he's rather complex. Suffer Slash attacks one enemy 2 times, has a 50% chance of removing a random buff from the target. Really solid. Passive effect, whenever an enemy hits this champion or an ally, has a 50% chance to counterattack with this skill. This chance increases by 10% for each debuff on the enemy. So wow, we've got basically a permanent threat of a counterattack on his A1 ability when either he or an ally is hit. And there's no cooldown on that passive effect. It just happens every single time. Really nice, especially considering we're also removing a buff from the target. You can book him up, Mythical skill tomes are very hard to get, and the good thing is this guy works without skill tomes, but as with every mythical, you can book them up for the damage, which is great, but the ignore resistance is next level bonkers on mythicals. It's really what separates mythicals apart in a big way. We know the alternate forms, but that ignore resistance that they all have is really valuable. On the Devilish Accord, his A2 ability attacks one enemy 2 times. You'll note, by the way, every single one of his abilities, the damage scales on attack and accuracy, okay? More on that in a moment. A 2-time hitter on the Devilish Accord can be booked down to a 3-turn. Before attacking, swaps HP with an enemy, then steals all buffs from them. Also, transfers all debuffs from this champion to the target, and places a seal debuff on the target for 2 turns. The seal debuff cannot be removed. The debuff cannot be resisted or blocked if the target has 50% HP or less. Again, a lot going on here. A 2-time hitter, he's swapping HP with the enemy, which is interesting. I've noticed, though, that if he has high HP and his enemy has low HP, he's not, like, it's not bringing him down to low HP. So it's only going to do it if it's a positive exchange. He steals all buffs from them. Excellent, right? Then he transfers all his debuffs back to the target. It's a great control ability for a single target hitter. When you see the single targets, you kind of think, you know, I wish it was an AoE all the time, but this does so much that it's really incredible, especially when we talk about the A3. The seal, what does seal do? Odds are you've gone against him at least, right? What does seal do? Well, let's pull up the good old wiki of Raid, officially from Plarium. Seal, actually, I think a lot of players, they understand a little bit of what seal does, but not the totality. It's not a bad debuff, and it's very, very, very obviously unique to Carnage, right? So what does seal do? 2 versions, there's Seal and Master Seal. He's got the Seal. The Seal debuff blocks effects from gear sets and masteries, except stat boosts granted by artifacts and accessories, as well as masteries that only boost stats like Blade Disciple, Flawless Execution, okay? All right, so that's kind of, it's not that confusing, right? Essentially, it's blocking the effects from gear sets and masteries. So if a Duchess has a 9-piece protection or a Siffy, the Seal is gonna block those protected buffs. It's actually a powerful and really underrated debuff, and it's probably underrated because, well, nobody has it except for Carnage, right? So that's the Seal, and it's protected. You can't get rid of it, which is nice. Trinity of Pain on his A3 is the best move that he has on his base form. Attack one enemy 3 times. The first hit places a block passive skills for 2 turns that cannot be removed. Block passive skills. I think only 3 champions in the game have block passive skills. It's insanely hard to get. It's Ramantu, it's Rhonda, and it's Carnage. And that's it. At least the time of this recording, unless they just introduce, they're always bringing out new power creep champions.
I am pretty fun.
You know, by the time this goes live, maybe there's one I didn't recall, but it's very rare, to say the least. It's very, very good, right? I mean, I can't name you all the champions that block passive skills works good against, because almost every good champion in the last few years has a busted passive. Second hit, block active skills, cannot be removed. These are protected debuffs. They can't be cleansed. And the third hit, well, it steals 100% of their turn meter. What a great opening move on a 3-turn cooldown. You can ignore 30% resistance as well. It does scale again off attack and accuracy. On his passive, Avatar of Anarchy, a busted passive on this dude too. Each hit this champion deals from skills has a 50% chance of applying a debuff spread effect, taking a random debuff from the target and placing it on all enemies. When you spread debuffs, you cannot be polymorphed through the spread, only the initial placement. Whenever this champion kills an enemy, has a 100% chance of applying a debuff spread, taking all debuffs from the target and placing them on all enemies. This effect cannot be resisted. Oof, he has so much that can't be resisted in his kit.
It's just that God looked down on me one day and
smiled all over me.
Which really helps out, especially when you're going against a magic affinity, which are everywhere. It still allows him to control against magic affinity. The debuff spread is amazing because everything's single target, but it really mitigates that by the debuff spread. Every hit this champion deals from skills has the debuff spread. That means that every hit from his A1, which he's constantly rattling off, is going to have a chance to debuff spread. Anytime an ally's hit, 50% chance to go in with the A1. So the Suffer Slash is a lot more than meets the eye. You put this all together, it's almost hard to keep track of. He's got the steal buffs. He's got the transfer debuffs. He's got the seal. He's got can't be resisted. He's got the counterattacks, the random counterattacks. He's removing buffs from the target. He's blocking their passives, blocking their actives, stealing the turn meter, and he's spreading it all around. He's insane. He is insane for control. It's funny, when he came out, you didn't see him that much in the end game. I'm like top 1,000 live arena right now. I'm barely hanging on. I might be a top 1,100. But I never saw him in live arena at that level. And now I'm starting to see him everywhere in live arena. It goes to show that people are really picking up on Carnage on that base form especially, but his alternate form is also amazing. Remember the base attack, it's insane. Demon Stinger, attack one enemy 2 times. He heals on this on the alternate A1. Whenever an enemy hits his champion or ally, same thing. 50% chance to counterattack, and it's a 10% chance for each debuff on that enemy, right? Nasty. So now he's healing himself constantly, which he needs. He's very, very squishy. We need Stone Skin in the arena on this dude. Singularity of Pain on the A2 ability. Attacks all enemies, will ignore shield buffs. Also ignores ally protection buffs when attacking enemies under 1 or more debuffs, and unkillable buffs when attacking enemies under 2 debuffs. Okay, not bad. It's decently hard hitting here, the Singularity of Pain. It is hard hitting, excuse me. On the A3, Infernal Stars. This is his best move on the alternate form. Attacks all enemies 2 times. If a target is killed by this skill while under 3 or more different debuffs, places a block revive on them. Heals his champion by 30% of the damage dealt. So now it's an AoE 2-time hitter with a block revive mechanic. Passive, this champion's crit damage increases by 1% for each 3 points of accuracy they have. Ignores 10% of the target's defense for each debuff they're under. Oof. It's nasty. It allows you to chill a little bit in the base form, start spreading around those debuffs, placing all those debuffs, and then go, when the timing is right, you switch over. You're going to be ignoring defense for all those debuffs and then blocking their revive potentially with all those debuffs on the Infernal Stars. Let's take a quick look at the damage multipliers. This is his base form, Suffer Slash, his A1. It's a 2.3 attack on a 2-time hitter that's very good. Another 2-time hitter is a 3.5 attack on a 2-time hitter plus the accuracy. And that's a godlike damage rating. His triple hitter is a 2.7 on a triple hitter. Godlike damage rating as well. On his alternate form, it's a 1.8 for a 2-time hitter. Keep in mind, it's a godlike damage rating because on his alternate form, that base attack gets jacked up like 450 points. On the A2, the ignore shield. On the A2, again, another strong AoE attack. It's a 4 attack plus the accuracy, godlike damage rating. And then he's got the 2-time hitter. It's a 2.5 on a 2-time plus the accuracy, godlike damage MFN rating. This guy's a monster. He is a monster. I'll be real with you guys. I didn't use this guy enough in the beginning. And now he's just one of my faves. He is, congratulations if you have this dude. Hopefully some of you guys are like me and you just weren't using him that much, right? So this is the build that we have. You're given so many options when it comes to how to build this champion. I will say that I purposely didn't use all my good gear on this champion. Like, obviously we have it ascended. It's not bad gear per se, but I hear your feedback that, like, what I've been doing is, now that there's presets, and you guys should do this too, when you really care about the results of a Chimera or a Hydra or wherever, right, at a siege battle, you should mule over your best gear to your best champions. So I had been doing that on guides, but then I got like a lot of comments like the gear is way too good. So I tried to be a bit realistic here, and I made the biggest sacrifice, honestly, in accuracy, speed, and attack, and those are the stats that we really want on this guy. Ideally, we like him fast. For the end game, I love to build my nukers with 250 speed on most occasions, right? So we're a little bit shy of that, but 240 is not that bad either. His accuracy, though, is important. That's a nice stat boost. So much so that a lot of players are starting to build him in Eagle Eye instead of Helm Smasher. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. For PvE, for Hydra Clan Boss, for wave killing in general, maybe not wave killing, for Hydra Clan Boss, for bosses in PvE, we want to actually build him for damage in Eagle Eye, because his damage scales off of accuracy as well, right? And that 50 accuracy is significant. Either way, we definitely want to go support tree. We definitely want to pick up all the accuracy masteries. Now, I have him in the arena. In the arena, through my testing on my build, he's still dealing, you know, it's RNG, right? He has Helm Smasher. It's a 50% chance of proccing. But he is still consistently dealing a bit more damage with Helm Smasher. But a lot of players are switching even the arena to Eagle Eye. I would encourage you guys to try on your own, but I think this is a safe build. Let's put it that way. I went down kind of a very typical arena nuker build. Ruthless Ambush, Cycle of Violence. I will say Ruthless Ambush applies to the first hit on each enemy. And this guy, unless you're just going to go to the alternate form right away, you sense a vulnerability, no stone skin on the enemy team, you know, it's not as effective as it is on some other champions. So I wouldn't say it's imperative to go Ruthless Ambush, but you know, you still can't go wrong there. I went Cycle of Violence, and I end with Helm Smasher, right? So those are the masteries that we're going to rock here. But this guy you do want to prioritize accuracy, obviously. I went Polymorph. I have him 4-star. You don't have to go Polymorph on this guy, though. I've seen people go in PvE Phantom Touch on him. I've seen people go Crushing Rend on him in Hydra Clan Boss, because in Hydra Clan Boss, you're going to be spending a lot of time on the alternate form, right? So you could go Cruelty.
Are you sure?
What did I say, Crushing Rend? My bad. Cruelty could be a very viable option in Hydra Clan Boss as well. All right, so the build that I went with, I did go Polymorph. I am building him for the arena. I went accuracy. You definitely want accuracy on the banner on this guy. You definitely want crit damage on the amulet on this guy. You definitely want attack on the ring. You really want to try to get the stone skin on him, right? I would almost prioritize stone skin even over savage gear, because he's super, super squishy. So even stone skin in cruel or stone skin in protection might be the way to go if you can't get it in the accessories. I have speed on the boots. I went speed and speed, but you could definitely make a case for going speed and attack percentage, because the big curveball is you really want to try to go accuracy as a main stat with attack as a percentage ascension stat on the chest in the end game, right? I know this is not possible for every player to do. Frankly, on my entire account, I only have one accuracy main stat chest piece for Savage Gear, and you're looking at it, and it's a really good piece. So I know it's not possible, but I want to give you the best case scenario, at least on the chest piece. On the gauntlets, yeah, I mean, this is kind of meh, right? We're getting a lot of crit rate, which is nice, 28% with the Ascension, but ideally, we have crit damage with crit damage. We have speed and accuracy, right, as a substats. Again, we're looking for accuracy, we're looking for speed, we're looking for attack percentage, where we can find it, obviously crit rate as well. So total stats on his base form will be thus, and total stats on his alternate form will be 5,800. I mean, we don't have a lot of attack percentage on this dude. And, you know, not fully ascended, not the right ascension stats, and still at 5,800, not bad at all. Buffs. Let's talk about the setup for a Carnage. Ideally, let me just go into the arena here. I can't believe I'm this late in the video. I haven't shown you any gameplay. I apologize, but like I said, there's just so much going on with this dude, right? I'm running with Alice, with Skeletor, and with Arbiter for a reason. I know I've been very heavy on Skeletor lately, and honestly, I've said it before, like, he's not that bad. I love that he brings the increased accuracy in the turn meter decrease.
Sometimes you make no sense.
I love that he has the petrification. Petrification strips their buffs, and it's like they do mitigate damage, but it's a really, really, really strong CC ability, right? So anyway, I love the best setup possible. It's like a Yoshi the Drunkard or Arbias, right? Arbias is the ultimate setup. I'm not going to show her because I realize not many people have her, obviously, but she has, like, we can point to it as the same thing with Alice. Increase attack, increase accuracy, and turn meter fill. That's the best, because when we get increased accuracy on this dude, I mean, a lot of his debuffs can't be resisted anyway, but we get more damage and we get more accuracy conversion to crit damage on the alternate form, right? So that's the best case scenario. Timeout. Before we get into the arena, guys, I realized I just did a couple battles for you, which I'm going to show you in a minute, which is going to be so much fun. But I had Arbiter as a speed lead. Definitely use Carnage over Arbiter as a speed lead. We already talked about having him for the 33% extra speed aura, rather 3% over Arbiter. That does matter, so definitely use him. Use Arbiter on the same team by all means, but use him as a speed lead. It's easy to forget. As a matter of fact, I just did it earlier in the video. All right, so here we go. We're going in. I'll describe this team and why I love it so much. A fully free-to-play team in the next battle because I'm doing this out of order. But here we go. Look at Siegfried on the enemy team. We can go in there. We can place these debuffs and then spread the debuffs, right? Now, the order of the placement is the block active skills before the block passive skills. So it triggered his passive actually before the block passive skills was placed. Either way, we've already neutralized this disgusting mythical team, right? With our free-to-play friendly team. Let's go in there and try to remove that block damage. We didn't get it. Actually, we did get it by 1 turn. My bad. All right, now we can go in A2. Check this out. Steal all buffs. Can we steal? Oh, we sure can. And we kill him, and guess what happens? Or guess what doesn't happen? And then the attack on Odin as well. Guess what didn't happen there, guys? Look at this. Look at all this lockout. It's all protected. This is all off his passive, off killing and spreading and protecting. He is an absolute menace in the arena. Geez, I couldn't even keep up with what he was doing. I'm gonna break down this team and why it's so ungodly good for a free-to-play friendly team in just a moment. But yeah, I mean, that was a perfect illustration of what you can do with Carnage on your team. All right, guys, so we're gonna set up with Arbiter, increase attack. Gonna go in with Skeletor, increase accuracy, decrease turn meter. We stole the Stone Skin too. Skeletor, you're the man, bro. You're the man. Let's go and lock them out with Alice. And then let's go and let's just chill. Like I said, let's chill in his base form for a little bit, right? The best thing that I didn't tell you guys earlier is this guy is the perfect UDK counter. We can work around UDK. Look at all that. Because everything's a double hit or a triple hit, right? So look at that in one move. Block active skills, block active skills, block passive skills, block active skills on everybody in one hit. There's so much more than meets the eye on this champion. You know what, guys? I kind of want to go in and I kind of want to just go to his alternate form. We don't have the 3 buffs up yet, but let's try the A3. Can we got a kill there. We'll take it. We'll take it. A low, I mean, we're going against Harima. She has the ignore defense mitigation there. So, you know, all right. Skeletor, man. Skeletor can actually deal a little bit of damage too. He's an interesting champion.
Come check this.
Oh, Alice. Alice ends the show. All right, let's go against this squad here, all right? This is a fun little team. I don't know what it is, but I'm such a sucker lately for... Like, and this is not, I'm not just saying this for the videos. Like, I'm just a sucker for these freebies. I'm starting to use Skeletor. At first, I'm not going to lie. I started to use Skeletor just because I knew everybody had him. And now I'm like starting to actually like the champion. And Alice, I like a lot too, because Alice, especially against Sun Wukong, like she gets the kill, then she gets the reset, you know? Now in a situation like this, I'm just going to go, let's try out the damage on the A2 this time, right? Not bad. Not bad at all. Loki evaded. He has the evade move. You know Loki? He's disgusting, man. I should do a Loki video too. He's a lot better than people think he as well. And I'm not just saying that. The misstep passive. He evades everything. You can't hit the damn dude, you know? All right, let's go against another UDK team because he's everywhere and I want to prove how good of a response that we have to him. All right, again, with the increased accuracy, we're getting a lot more damage out of him. It's a perfect setup. Let's go in again. We didn't kill Sun Wukong that time, but let's just go in and... yeah. Let me show you how... no, let's just go with the A3. What am I doing? He killed So when he kills, what does he do? When he kills, he spreads everything and it's always protected. It's super strong. Super strong. Now, keep in mind, block passive skills on a Sun Wukong, what does that mean? That means he won't come back to life. He is dead forever. No Sun Wukong coming back. There you go. Now he's dead. He died with block passive skills. Same thing with a Marichka, obviously, right? Really strong combo here. All right, so here we go. I love this champion, man. Carnage is he's a really fun champ, very fun.
Wow, I just got a big headache.
All right, so we're up in the ante here. This team's a little bit more challenging, obviously. We're gonna go and lock him out with Alice. And then, so let's just go in and try to deal with Volcanos there. All right. And again, you'll notice block passive and active skills on Leo as well. It's going to be very, very good because Leo has a lot of passivity that's very annoying, escalating damage, the unkillable, yada, yada, yada. So let's go in here with the A2. And we know, see, in normal situation, we target the reviver, right? No, not with Carnage. We're actually going to attack Leo. We'll kill him. And then we'll place the block active skills on Leo guaranteed on the reviver. See how freaking strong that was, guys? See how strong that was? It's really nasty. Let's see if we can get the kill there. We can. I mean, you can see we haven't even messed around that much with the alternate form. He's gonna counterattack now. He does so much more than meets the eye. Maybe I should have just started in the arena, right? Because the more you play around with this guy, the more you're like, oh yeah, he does a lot. He does a lot. Let's go for a, I don't know. Let's see if we can fight this team. See if we go first against this squad here. A Kamitas team. This guy gives me nightmares. So does this guy. So does this girl. So does this girl. All right, here we go. So we've got a super strong team. They cut us in line. I'm not gonna lie. Things are not looking good. We're gonna come in here. We're gonna steal the block debuffs with Skeletor. And then we're gonna die. Okay, so you can't win them all. You can't win them all. All right, guys, we'll end on the L. We bit off a little bit more than we could chew, but I showed a lot of arena battles. I apologize about having to edit Carnage in the beginning of the team as the Aura lead instead of Arbiter earlier. So, you know, on the recording side, it was a little chaotic, but that fits the motif of Karnage the Anarch beautifully. This dude is utter and sheer and raw damage and chaos. Thanks for watching till the end of the video, and as always, take care, guys.